There's been a lot of buzz around Starmer accusing Putin of playing games with the Ukraine peace deal. He's basically saying Putin is dragging his feet and, that stronger sanctions are needed to get him to the negotiating table.
Right, and it kind of puts a spotlight on the contrasting approaches we're seeing right now. What do you make of the whole Trump versus Starmer angle here?
Well, Trump's approach is all about pushing for a quick peace deal, even if that means making some compromises, while Starmer's stance is that any peace deal needs to be rock solid and enforceable.
I get that.
He's really emphasizing that without robust guarantees, you just won't have lasting peace.
Exactly, and it raises the question, how should the U.S. factor into all of this? Are we going to lean towards Trump's unpredictability or stick with the, more cautious coalition-backed approach that Starmer seems to advocate?
That's a great question. It's you're caught between two different visions here. On the one hand, Trump's rapport with Putin and his drive for rapid resolution. On the other, Starmer's insistence on building a coalition of the willing to really, guarantee Ukraine's security. It's a real balancing act.
Right. And speaking of guarantees, I find it interesting how historical peace agreements can actually guide us here. There's that PAX database from the University of Edinburgh that tracks over 2,000 peace agreements since 1990, right?
Yes, exactly. It really shows that successful deals often involve international oversight or enforcement mechanisms. It's kind of reminiscent of the Good Friday Agreement in Northern Ireland, where global support ensured both sides stuck to the deal.
Absolutely. Right. So for Ukraine, having a kind of international coalition backing the terms could be key, perhaps even with some military support thrown in if necessary.
Exactly. And then there's the whole issue of sanctions. Increasing them is seen as a way to pressure Russia, but it's not so black and white.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, one could argue, don't you think that piling on more sanctions might not actually work as intended? Russia still manages to sell oil and gas to countries like China and India, and that might dilute their impact.
That's a solid point. It's sometimes you try to cut off a river and then water finds another path. There's this tool called Open Sanctions that tracks who's actually under sanction, so it's super useful for analyzing these dynamics.
Exactly. Yeah, though I respectfully challenge the idea that tougher sanctions will always lead to a more favorable outcome. Sometimes they might even backfire by